we have the Avon River that starts life in the Island electorate, and so there's a lot of work going on there to make sure that we have healthy water running through our cities. So it's about how we use our resources well. So that's why we're looking into changes into laws, what we call Resource Management Act, is trying to make sure that we get a good balance to make sure we preserve the environment, but we can still develop and move forward. So there's a lot of work going to be happening in that space in the next year or so.
新西兰联合网，你们好 I'm Hamish.
You say Christchurch is a big city, but compared to Chinese, it's a small town in some ways. Ilam is of course a part of Christchurch, and we actually have some amazing resources here in Ilam. We have some great gardens, whether it be Riccarton Bush, which is trying to regenerate native bush of New Zealand, right through to the university, which has grounds, and of course we have the Avon River that starts life in the Island electorate, and so there's a lot of work going on there to make sure that we have healthy water running through our cities. So it's about how we use our resources well, and that's kind of a focus of part of our government, is make sure we can develop, but make sure we have a strong view of our resources and our environment. And so that's why we're looking into changes into laws, what we call Resource Management Act, is trying to make sure that we get a good balance to make sure we preserve the environment, but we can still develop and move forward. So there's a lot of work going to be happening in that space in the next year or so.
Is Hagley Park in?
Hagley Park is just outside of the Island electorate, but of course it is a great asset for the city. The founders of Christchurch had the foresight to set aside that park area for people's enjoyment, and you just need to go there at the weekend. You can see it's full of people enjoying that green space. We are very lucky in Christchurch to have a number of these green spaces and have lots of trees, which of course are very important to have a clean, healthy environment. Christchurch is just on the border of the Banks Peninsula. There's a lot of work going on there to make sure we remove predators, so things animals that have been introduced to New Zealand, trying to reduce the number of predators, so our native birds in particular, but also things like lizards and things can grow and re-establish to try and increase our biodiversity as well. So there's a lot of work trying to kind of protect our environment here in Christchurch. Water is essential to life, and we do have a good water source here in New Zealand, in Christchurch, but we do need to make sure our infrastructure, that our pipes and the way we handle the water after we take it out of the ground is appropriate to make sure that we have high public health. There's a lot of work going on to make sure we can upgrade our water facilities. We have a policy called Local Water Done Well, and it's about trying to make sure that councils look after the resources that they have and empowering them to deliver the best water that they possibly can. That's a local government. The local council dictates that, and currently there's an excess water charge. So if you go over a certain number of litres, you then get a small nominal charge, and that's about trying to just make sure people are mindful of the resource that we have. So it's about trying to make sure we use our water effectively. We're looking at kind of what we call manage our resources. So that's going to span the whole country, but a lot of that is in environmental protection and also in the fresh water space, making sure that we look after the water. And then there's other bits going on at the moment about looking at marine reserves and protecting some of our fisheries as well. But that's probably countrywide, not specifically Christchurch. Christchurch does have a number of laws locally about making sure that we have clean air and things like that. So it's about making sure we get the best out of what we have.
They all love Christchurch. That is a garden city.
Yes, known as the Garden City. Amazing parks, especially here in the island. But we also have parks scattered all around the place. We also have the Maclean's Island Reserve, which of course is a great recreational reserve. With a lot of forestry in there as well. So we do have access to a number of natural spaces, and I think it's really good for people's health and also for their mental health as well. Christchurch has the highest level of what we call domestic migration. We have the highest level of people coming from other cities in New Zealand to Christchurch. And I think it is because of of our kind of natural environment and what we have to offer. And the University of Canterbury has the highest number of students that it's ever had. And I think that's mainly from students from all around New Zealand wanting to come to Christchurch, because I think we have recovered well, and we have some amazing resources here people want to come and share. Yeah, we still have opportunities to grow, but you just need to walk through the centre of town and see our new convention centre, and we have the Court Theatre being rebuilt, so there's a number of these projects coming through.